There's a lot of monkey noises in this movie. I'm SirDinosaur from Planet X, and now it's time for a movie review. So this movie takes place in Africa. We see two families that are a little different. One is a family of gorillas with a mama gorilla and a papa gorilla and a kid gorilla. The other is a family of humans with a mom and dad and a baby who are like British settlers. The British couple build a treehouse. This leopard named Sabor hunts and kills the kid gorilla, which is very sad. Then the mama gorilla named Kala hears the humans in distress. She goes up toward the noise and finds the treehouse, and you get the sense that the parents got killed by Sabor too. She finds the baby though. Kala's like, wait, what the heck is this? It doesn't have any fur, except some hair on top of its head, and it makes different kinds of noises than gorillas make. But it's a baby, all alone, and Kala's like, dang, I gotta protect this little guy. Sabor shows up and tries to hurt the baby, but Kala protects him. The whole time this is going on, there's a powerful song called Two Worlds, One Family about how the human baby may be different from the mama gorilla, but at the end of the day, a baby's a baby and a mom's a mom. They're family now. Kala brings the baby home to the other gorillas, and her mate Kerchak, the gorilla's leader, is suspicious and doesn't want to deal with him. But Kala's like, sorry dude, either I keep the baby or he dies in the jungle, so I'm keeping the baby and hopefully you can just get over yourself and learn to love him too. Kerchak is like, grr, fine. There's this little girl gorilla named Turk who's kind of snarky. She's like, what the heck is that thing? I guess I'll be friends with it. So the baby becomes part of the gorilla family. There's a song called You'll Be in My Heart about how Kala loves the baby as her own. Then we see the human baby as a kid now. His name is Tarzan. He likes to hang out with Turk and the other gorillas, but the other gorillas don't take him seriously because he doesn't look like them. Turk is like, they'll think you're cool if you pass this test. You gotta get an elephant hair. And I'm over here like, hey, wait a minute. I don't think elephants have any hair. But Tarzan didn't think about that clearly. He just wants to go get an elephant hair so the other gorillas will think he's cool. There's a nervous kid elephant there named Tantor and a bunch of grown-up elephants. Tarzan goes and tries to get an elephant hair and he starts to stampede and almost gets killed. Turk saves him and all of the gorillas are mad, but Tarzan does get that elephant hair. Then there's a fun song called Son of Man where Tarzan grows up and tries to get better at gorilla stuff like hunting and swinging on vines and surfing on branches and things like that. He's a human though, so he also uses ropes and spears and things since humans can think of things like that. He gets older and stronger and smarter until Tarzan is all grown up. He proves himself to the gorillas when Sabor shows up. The leopard attacks Kerchak, but Tarzan kills it, so everybody respects him now. So of course now it's time for a curveball. Tarzan finds some destroyed trees and a bullet casing, so he swings around like, what the heck is going on? He finds this hunter guy named Clayton who's stomping around with a shotgun, an older skinny guy named Professor Porter, and a young woman named Jane. They're British explorers who are interested in studying the animals. Jane gets separated from the group since a baby baboon steals her journal. Jane gets chased around by grown-up baboons, but Tarzan saves her. Jane and Tarzan get to know each other gradually. It's a bit tricky at first, since Tarzan doesn't speak English. Meanwhile, Turk and Tantor and the gorilla buddies are looking for Tarzan. They find Professor Porter's camp, and they don't know how anything works, so they have fun and trash the place. Then Tarzan shows up with Jane, and Turk has this look on her face like, oh no, there's another one. Kerchak shows up too with the other gorillas, and he's very distrustful of all this business because whenever Kerchak sees anything that looks a little different than him, he gets mad about it. Professor Porter and Clayton show up and they're like, what the heck happened here? So Jane tells them about the gorillas and Tarzan. They don't believe her at first until Tarzan comes by to say hi and they see the potential. See, Tarzan is a human they can communicate with who knows where the gorillas are, but he doesn't know anything about human stuff. So they start to show him by telling him things and showing him images using projector slides and reading to him and stuff. There's a great song called Strangers Like Me that's about how Tarzan learns about humans. Tarzan is very curious about the other humans, and I relate to this song honestly. I'm SirDinosaur from Planet X, and I look different than you guys because I'm a really tall lizard with big teeth and sharp claws, so learning about you guys and your world is pretty fun. Tarzan sees one projector slide that shows a guy giving flowers to a lady, so Tarzan gets some flowers. I think he likes Jane. Tarzan gives Jane the flowers, but she's upset since the English are about to leave and she might never see him again unless he comes to England, and Tarzan is like, I don't know about this England thing. Why don't you stay here in Africa? Clayton is all like, I see a solution. Muhaha. Hey Tarzan, I think Jane will stay if you let her see the gorillas. Clayton is being all tricksy and stuff, so Tarzan comes up with this bogus plan to distract Kerchak by getting Turk and Tantor to pretend to be Jane and Professor Porter and send Kerchak on a wild goose chase while he brings Jane, Professor Porter, and Clayton to the gorillas. They all meet Kala, and Kala looks a little freaked out, to be honest. They've all got different attitudes with this. Jane wants to be accepted by the gorillas, Professor Porter is curious but unsure what to do, while Clayton is annoyed and wants the gorillas to just be like convenient for him. Clayton's got a bad attitude, you guys. They're brought back to the gorillas and they all get along at first. Jane in particular is accepted by the gorillas, but Turk and Tantor accidentally bring Kerchak back while they're still there. Kerchak freaks out and attacks the humans, and Tarzan has to subdue him while the humans run away. So Tarzan in that moment chose the humans over the gorillas. Whoops, not great. Kala realizes that Tarzan is having a bit of an identity crisis, and she decides to show him the treehouse his parents had built. Tarzan has a moment as he sees the life he could have had and decides to explore it. So he puts on a human suit and goes off to be with them. He loves Kala, but at this time he's thinking he needs to find out what the human world is like. But once they get on the ship, Clayton's like, hey, guess what, buddy? I'm in charge now. The guys on my crew are all poachers, so we're going to lock you up so you can't stop me while I capture all your gorilla friends, since I know where they are now. Thanks a bunch. Tarzan and Jane and Professor Porter are all locked up in the ship's hold, and it's not looking good. But Turk and Tantor come to rescue Tarzan, so he and Jane and Professor Porter escape the ship and they're heading back to stop Clayton. In the jungle, Clayton and his poacher goons attack the gorilla's home and start capturing them all in nets. Kerchak puts up a pretty good fight, but they get him and Clayton's about to shoot. But Tarzan and friends show up and Tarzan frees Kerchak, proving once and for all where his loyalty is. Tarzan and everybody fight off Clayton and the poachers, but Clayton shoots Kerchak. Oh no! Tarzan chases Clayton up into the trees, and yeah, Clayton's got a gun, but he's in Tarzan's territory now. Tarzan takes Clayton's gun and smashes it into pieces, but then Clayton's got a machete, and he's attacking him with that. Clayton gets tangled up in the vines and accidentally hangs himself on them. Ouch. Before Kerchak dies, he accepts Tarzan and says that Tarzan should be the gorilla's leader. The ship is about to leave, but Jane is all conflicted and she decides to stay in Africa with Tarzan, so she gets off the rowboat and runs to Tarzan and kisses him. The gorillas and Tantor approve. Professor Porter decides to heck with it. I'll stay too and hang out with Jane and Tarzan and the gorilla buddies. At the end, they're dressed kind of like Tarzan and they're swinging around and they're part of the family. This movie is fun and it's got good messages about family being who raised you and the importance of getting along with folks who look different than you, since you might have more in common with them than you realize. So this movie is good for kids.